Joe Reagan is president and CEO of GLI and also is on the Ohio River Bridges Committee. And you understand how important this legislation is, Joe. You've been talking about this for months and months.
Absolutely. And as you know, Francene, we were at this spot on your show a year ago. Mm-hmm. In that case, it was inaction from the Senate on taking up the bill and moving it through. There are no substantial differences left. There are differences of principle about what overwhelmingly passed through the Senate and overwhelmingly passed through the House. And I strongly believe that if just a couple of people are willing to talk, that the Bridges bill can move through and that it can satisfy all of the issues that have been brought up. And we're not advocating one approach or the other. Quite frankly, there are two valid approaches that have passed out of each house. That's why we have a bicameral system, to look at things from different viewpoints. And there is a mechanism to resolve those viewpoints. But inaction puts a few things at risk. One is our partners in Indiana, who have $1 billion in the bank, who have been waiting for Kentucky to pass this legislation. That is at risk. Our partners in Indiana have been working. Our team for the Build the Bridges Coalition are on their way to Indianapolis right now, working on the legislative front in Indiana, which has a longer session than we do. And so if Kentucky finishes their work, Indiana can pick that up and get what they need done passed. But, we're working on that front as well. Well, that effort is at risk. And quite frankly, more than anything else, there are 56,000 jobs and our economic impact at risk of the Ohio River Bridges project. And sure, we may get to them someday, but we need those jobs today. If we want a stimulus package, this is it. Why wait for somebody else to stimulate this economy when we can do it ourselves by getting those construction jobs, the supplier jobs, with cranes in the air and shovels in the ground. We can do that. We just have to, a couple of people have to make a decision that this is the time.
This is the time. And again, last year it was the Senate. It took another year. This year is the House. It can't wait another year. We do risk losing Indiana's money. We risk losing the jobs, as you said, and also every year, every several months that we wait, the project becomes more expensive because costs are only rising on goods and materials. It is vital. We are closer than we ever have been, Joe. There are still people who are listening who say, oh, it's not that. They could pass this and we're still not going to get bridges. That's not the case. We are closer than we ever have been. We just need, and again, they'll hammer out their differences in conference committee. We know that. But it can't be done unless the House moves to consider this legislation.
Absolutely, and let me call out four people in particular. Governor Beshear, as you have stated, has stepped up and said, this is what we need to do for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Putting Kentucky first, this is what we need to do. And I will say that the other three legislative leaders that are the key to this, Speaker Stumbo, President Williams, and Speaker Pro Tem Larry Clark, to this point, we have been incredibly effective and strong leaders. I don't know why we want to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory at this moment, but it seems like that's what we want to do. And there are differences. There are strong personalities and strong perspectives on both sides of this issue. And that's fine. That's what you get with strong leadership. But I think there's a level of statesmanship and a level of reason that if those four individuals can help lead us, they're there to lead us. And if they would lead us to that higher level of statesmanship and reason and say, we are done is good. We're going to get it done and we're going to move forward together, that we're right there. These passed, Bridges legislation passed overwhelmingly out of both houses, and this is the second session that they've been considered. So this is not last-minute legislation. This is just last-minute decision-making and leadership moving forward.
Well, I'll tell you, Governor Beshear and Senate President David Williams are showing statesmanship and leadership. It is Greg Stumbo and the House Speaker and Speaker Pro Tem Larry Clark who said, and I talked to Larry Clark personally at the West Virginia game about the bridges, who have said that they are for this. Larry Clark and Greg Stumbo hold the future of the bridges right now in their hands. Those two men, and you and I both know, you mentioned how powerful they are. They can step up, call the caucus together, say it is our serious suggestion, strong suggestion that we go ahead, suspend the rules, and take this up, vote it, and pass it. And they haven't yet. And I don't know if that's just to show David Williams that they have more power or they're playing games. I don't care. They need to do it. You know it's in them. I know it's in them. We need to have them do this publicly. They must step up.
Well, we can make it easy to get that message out. The Build the Bridges Coalition on our website, www.buildthebridge.com. We have an action alert. You can click on that. You can get the message to your legislators just by clicking on that and moving through. You've done this on your personality page as well. Let's get that message out. And we're not asking them to give up on their principle-centered positions on any of this legislation. We're not dictating or demanding or even cajoling them to look at any particular viewpoint. Because with everything that's on the table, with a little bit of discussion, I bet you on the bridges, if we were to estimate it, Francene, I would say it's an hour of discussion to be able to resolve the approaches that are the differences.
Because they're so close.
So it's that close. So is it worth an hour for 56,000 jobs? And, of course, we believe it is.
Yes, everybody believes it is. And I truly hope, I hope down to my bones that Greg Stumbo and Larry Clark step up. But again, maybe they just need to hear from the public one more time. Joe, thank you very much. Obviously, I would imagine the Bridges Coalition is doing everything it can to persuade them to caucus and suspend the rules and get this ratified. And I know, again, you said that you've got your people working in Indiana as well. So thanks for fighting a good fight.
Well, we appreciate. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, your listeners' attention, as always.
Well, thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Joe Reagan, President and CEO of Greater Louisville Incorporated. Again, I said it before. This is a character-defining moment. House Speaker Stumbo, House Speaker Pro Tem Larry Clark. They can either be the heroes here, step up and show true leadership, or fail Kentucky miserably because they might think it's more important to play political games than to keep people employed, than to create new jobs, than to keep us safe, than to progress Kentucky. They can either be the leaders they tell us they are and why they're worthy for these jobs, or they can fail us miserably. They must caucus. They must suspend the rules. They must consider these pieces of legislation. Please tell them to do so. Either by going to the Bridges, buildthebridges.com, the Bridges website, or just simply WHAS.com, keyword Francene. And do not listen to the flimsy, ridiculous excuses that are coming out of the House Speaker's office. You know what's true. We'll be back. This is the Francene Show on 84 WHAS.